Hello everyone, this is James Shore with another test-driven development video. It is still June 30th for me and I'm picking up where I left off. We are working on getting the UI to show up with some form fields in the top of the screen here using the Meg layout, third-party library for doing layout. And what we have is we've gotten this working with our dollars text field. Now I want to put a label on it. And once that's done, I want to get the rest of the dollars text fields in there as well. So let's see how much we can get done in this episode. The very first thing to do is to get the label in. So let's see, I'd extracted this out, but I think I actually want it as a local variable again. So we're going to have the components there. We've got the starting balance field, but before that, we're going to want a label. And I'm going to do this in just one step. This is the starting balance label, and that should be a label. And that's going to fail because we do not have two components. So let's run that test. Yep, expected 2 was 1. So now I'm going to add the label. And it should pass. But it did not. Oh, because here there we go. And in terms of the way it works pretty good. Of course, that's not all we need. First I need a colon there. Do I want to test the value of the label? You know, I don't think so, actually. I don't think there's a lot of value in me duplicating this string in my test. So I'm not going to test that. I'm just going to test that there is a label. I'm also going to modify my layout constraints, or rather my column layout constraints, to work in the same way this does. That's really what we need. There we go. Oh, well, I've specified it in the test. Of course, I have not specified it in the production code. Okay, now I believe that will lay out the way we want it to. Yep, that's looking pretty good. Excuse me. I'm not sure about all this white space it's putting around the edges, but that's actually fairly easy to fix, so we'll come back to that. Okay, now that we have that label, let's take a second look at this. We want it to hover to the right. So let's go ahead and put that on here. Okay. That's going to fail, of course. Expected right was grow x. That's wrong. Let's make sure we've got the right component in there. Expected right was null. That's much better. Oh, Actually, we shouldn't need right in there. I think the fact that we still had it here was an anomaly. Let's go ahead and see what happens if we leave that out of our spike. Yeah, everything still works because we've got it specified as part of our column constraint, so we don't need it here. So I'm going to take that back out. All right, so next is, well, I suppose next would be getting the next dollar's text field in, which is going to be our cost basis. Let's bring this back in. This UI sketch is out of date now because I'm doing it in a slightly different way, but I want to get the cost basis in next. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say that we've got 3 components and that the next one is going to be our cost basis label. That's going to fail because we've only got 2 components. And now it should pass. And then I want to get the cost basis field. Will be a dollar's text field. And that should fail because we don't have the right number of components once again. Spike 4 was 3, and then we can add it. All right, so, and when we look at that, doesn't have the right constraints on it yet, so it's probably not going to work. Yeah, many things wrong there, but that's okay. We'll come back here. We want to wrap 2. Say it automatically wraps when we get to the end of the second, or yeah, the end of the second column. It's going to fail. Should pass. Sure, how does that look? Yep, get in somewhere. And then we want that to have a constraint. And that should fail because it doesn't have the constraint. And then pass. Yeah, so there we go. It's starting to get somewhere. Now the cost basis isn't actually hooked up yet, but that's okay. Does get our little icon though. Um, huh. Could have sworn I had that starting balance turning red. Yeah, I did have it turning red. Why is it not turning red right now? That's disturbing. Didn't I do that? It's been so long I don't remember, but I could have sworn I did that. Yeah, I remember. I have tests around it and everything. Well, that's actually very disturbing because doing TDD, you shouldn't have regressions like that without your tests failing. And right now, all the tests are passing. So why is starting balance not turning red and negative? That is an important question that we'll come back to. All right, but I don't want to interrupt what I'm in the middle of. So we've got this laying out properly. Now we need to get the other aspects of the code working. And there's going to be a lot of duplication with our existing code. So I'm going to just say fields initialize to model value. That's the cost basis field text. Should initialize to the cost basis. Of course, we don't have that yet. So let's set that aside for the moment and head on over to our application model. And in our test, looks like we're not testing. Oh, we do have a, no, we don't. Let's see. Starting balance. Yeah, we're not testing that because it's just returning a simple value. So we'll do the same thing. We'll just say public dollars starting cost basis and return starting cost basis. So back over here, that should fail because I think we're initializing it to 0 and just expecting 7,000. And then here, let's go ahead and extract this out to a cost basis field. And use our starting cost basis. There, that should pass. And when we run it, it should show up with 7,000. That's wonderful. That's just great. Now, of course, it isn't modifying yet, but that's what we're going to get to next. So that's it for this time. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you later.